have 3 options with regard to the draft. They also have another option that is fascinating, and here's what Terry Fontenot said to Fox 5 in Atlanta about trading Julio Jones. He said that's one of those things when you're doing things the right way as an organization, you have to listen. If people call on any player who are in a difficult cap situation, that's just the circumstance. Obviously, that particular player, we hold him in high regard. He's special, what he's done, what he continues to do here. We have to consider any player if it's right for the team because we have to do what's right for the team. And Adam Schefter later tweeted to explain that from a salary cap perspective, it's more likely that trade would come after June 1st. That's not the interesting piece of this, though, however. Kimberly, the interesting piece is, are we living in a world where Julio Jones could be on the verge of getting traded out of Atlanta?
Yeah, listen, after this offseason, Greeny, anything is possible. The world may not even be here by the weekend, so anything is possible. And this just speaks to the situation that Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith have walked into. You know, cap management, you know, the roster building or not building. You know, that wasn't their doing, but now they're sort of left with the situation. They've got to figure it out. Contracts, like, hey, they don't have a lot of cap space. They've got to turn around. So yes, Matt Ryan, very good quarterback, but at 4, it really is interesting what they do. Do you think, when are you going to trade? When are you going to be at 4 again? That's the interesting thing. So I want to see if they end up picking an impact player, even with Julio Jones.
There's a lot of ways to look at that, because if you're trading away Julio Jones, then maybe you are living in a world where you might be drafting high again. There's a lot of halfway here and halfway there in this. We'll talk about where Julio may wind up coming up. That said, Jeff Saturday, as we look at their options at 4, they can take a quarterback. They can trade back to someone who wants to take a quarterback, or they can take, let's say for the sake of argument, Kyle Pitts, the superstar offensive weapon who many people believe is the best player in the whole draft. What do you think they should do?
Trade to pick. Listen, Greeny, when you think about Kyle Pitts, the reason he fits so well at 4 is because of Julio, right? You got Ridley and Julio on the side, so now you're going to open up. You'll get man-to-man coverage. You can kind of dictate to defenses what you want to do. If you're going to get rid of Julio, the whole Kyle Pitts, you can trade back, and he'll probably still be there for the slot that you want, because anybody coming up to 4 is going to get a quarterback. They're not going to come draft up or get to 4 to come get Kyle Pitts. So I think they're in the best seat of the house, right? They're waiting, seeing if their perfect option is their quarterback, they could do it. But in my opinion, you trade out because you know Matt Ryan's got to be there with his contract. You just heard Fontenot talk about the circumstances they're in with the salary cap. I think you trade it, get the picks, and you're a better team for it with the possibility of winning now.
David?
Well, I think everybody wants to do that. Everybody loves to have the opportunity to move back and get more picks. But for the sake of this and not having the move back, give me Kyle Pitts. You talked about the matchups. Give me Arthur Smith coaching this too. By the way, what did he coach? He coached tight ends. Like, this dude can feature tight ends. I think he'll do a great job with it. Has done an unbelievable job calling offense. I love his play calling. He uses 12 personnel. Could use a guy like Kyle Pitts all over the field. So I think if you're going to stay in that spot, Matt Ryan, he's not 50 years old, okay? He's 35, 36 years old. He's still in a spot where he can play good football. And, by the way, is it normal to tell everybody, like, we sucked at the cap and they handcuffed me here, bro? Like, I got nowhere to go, so I'm fielding calls. Just let me know, whoever wants somebody.
That feels like the kind of thing you say to your fans before you trade away the most popular player on your entire team in Julio Jones. Maybe that's the direction this thing is going. One way or another, the entire thing is going to be shaped by whether or not a quarterback goes at 4 or not, regardless of whether it is Atlanta or someone else who makes the pick. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.